welcome back to the show. Today we got some Podception 3.0 for you. We have some this or that questions, and we also have some newly named real reactions for you.
Oh yes, the real reactions. No more Mushroom Galaxy. We just naming it what it is. Real reactions. Mushroom Galaxy we knew was cheesy. Wasn't gonna get over. Wasn't gonna work. It's bad naming from bad creative, and I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we debated on changing it for a while, so we finally figured it out.
Yeah, changing things up on the show. Maybe maturing a little, I guess, as you can say.
Yeah.
But today, we got some Podception, basically our yearly Podception episode. Since we are actually podcast fans, and I realize how, like, writing these down, how many podcasts we actually listen to. It's crazy. Most of them are comedy podcasts, so maybe now this is kind of making me analyze it to kind of want to broaden my horizon. But there is some non-comedy podcasts on this list too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll go over some of these podcasts. Basically, our top 10. Podcast, right?
Yeah, our top 10, and then we have some honorable mentions, and then some other ones that we're just gonna name.
Yeah, basically the one
reasons.
episode a year where we review, talk about, and advertise podcasts that have more views than us. But nonetheless, we are podcast fans, so this is what we do, and this is what I like. I like, the Podception element. That's where the ception comes from, people.
Right. And I wonder what the probability, I guess, what would be the how would I say this? How many actual podcasters do you think actually listen to podcasts? Would you say it's like a good amount?
I would say it's very few.
Especially, I would say I wouldn't think that. Yeah.
Yeah, because then you think about the ones that have done it for a long time. Maybe they have, or they still do, but then maybe with time they listen to less and less, and then you have the people who just started podcasts, or not just started podcasts, but are just doing it as like a side gig and like a side hustle. Like, of course, that's. There's tons of those out there.
That's very true.
People that aren't passionate about it. And yeah, I guarantee you the majority of the people that aren't passionate about it don't listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
But you hear some, like, that people mention here and there, other podcasters that listen to other podcasts. But then,
right.
I don't know. Does it become weird after a while to listen to other people's podcasts?
I wouldn't say so. Just to me, like, I assume, like, for example, somebody like Joe Rogan, like, I don't see him going out here and watching, like, every episode of, like, This Past Weekend or Bad Friends. He's just gonna watch the ones that I guess, like, appeal to him, just like people like that. But
it's just like us, like, we get more like from the clicks. I mean, from the clips. The clicks on the clips.
Yeah.
So I think other podcasters probably keep up with other podcasts through clips and things like that. So.
Clips are just so much easier.
Yeah, it is. But, that's why we appreciate the ones that do listen and do watch, because you're actually sitting here for 30 minutes to an hour, however long these episodes are, helping us getting through whatever you're getting through, whether you're working, whether you're cleaning up, whether you're, I don't know, working out, whatever you're doing.
Yep.
So let's start with number 10. Oh, you're going to say it, or I thought I was going to say it?
No, that was your...
Oh, well, number 10 is the Lex Friedman podcast. So, yeah, not exactly a comedy podcast, but...
more of an informational.
Yeah, actually, when we reviewed this list, I wanted him higher on the list, but we ended up putting him at number 10 just because you don't really listen to...
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess if you could ask me my favorite Lex Friedman episode, he just had... Todd Howard. I hope that's the name. If that's not the name, then I'm going to cut this part out anyway. But basically head of Bethesda, and responsible for Skyrim and Fallout. Yeah, and amongst others.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Lex Friedman, number 10. Jesus Christ, I just sprayed all over this.
He just gleeked.
Right? What the fuck? What was that? That's his coffee. I literally just chugged a cup of coffee, and then before we started, I just chugged another half of a cup of coffee. So it's hitting me now. Number 9, Flagrant. Why did you want to put this at number 9? Because actually, I'm going to be honest, on my list, because this is how it works with the list. I make a side list, she makes a side list, and then we compare, and then we try to convince each other why spots,
so
why this one be.
Part.
Yeah, try to convince each other why. Honestly, next time we do a list, that just needs to be it right there. That's all, because that was when we did that earlier. That was a whole podcast on itself. But regardless, why is Flagrant number 9 when I originally had it on my list as an honorable mention?
So, because, some episodes they come out with are good. I still feel the same way about them, which is why they're so low on the list, I would guess I should say. to me, it's more, I guess, coming from a female perspective, it's more of like a dude podcast.
Yeah. True.
They say things sometimes that could be offensive to women, and it kind of does annoy me every once in a while.
Oh shit.
But they do, also make me laugh sometimes. So I think they deserve to be on the list for that, just for being a good comedy podcast here and there. But yeah, sometimes they can be a little shallow.
Wow. Hot
Yeah.
take.
Hot take.
Coming from a woman. Hot take to Flagrant saying they don't treat women well. Or what'd you say? What was your quote?
That they make statements sometimes that are offensive to women.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You ready here, folks? Number 8. Are you garbage?
Are you garbage? Now they're funny.
Yeah, no, that's a good comedy podcast.
Yes.
Basically, the podcast is the name. It's a podcast where they, interview comedians, and of course, the more comedians you interview, then they, there's only so many they can interview. So I guess they interview other people,
right?
And they ask them garbage questions. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the point of it, like giving them like their two options, like is it garbage to do this or this or this,
Yeah.
So it's like their own version of this or that.
Yeah. Who did it first?
I mean,
just kidding. We're not gonna go there. Yeah,
no, it's
same,
different.
but different.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they've been around for a good minute.
Yeah.
And number 7, Giannis Papas, great comedian, great
theme
I guess
song?
up and coming comedian. Yeah, the theme song we always dance to.
Yeah, props to Giannis, because if nobody has noticed watching that, he straight up just writes his notes on a paper plate that he gets from his kitchen. Doesn't he film the podcast in his apartment?
Yeah, I mean,
So
a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Not everyone can have a podcast studio.
Yeah.
But didn't he have actually? He does, well, in New York, I'm sure it's like $1 million to rent out a studio. Because I thought he had one.
Yeah, in New York.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, number 6. Speaking of 2 studios, Theo Von this past weekend.
We were just watching him literally right before this podcast.
Yeah, the Young Gravy. Because you were telling me, put on the Young Gravy episode. I was like, who's Young Gravy? Young Gravy?
Yeah.
Can you tell me again who Young Gravy is?
It's a really bad name, but he's just, this up and coming Caucasian rapper that everybody just like talks about. But he's also into MILFs.
Oh yeah, that's the funny part. They hadn't got there in the podcast yet, but I hope they do. See that's the beauty of podcasts. Like, it's you connect with people, or they connect with their audience on a different level.
Yeah.
Like Young Gravy. I'm like, who's this Young Gravy? But then when we started listening, I was like, oh, okay, this is actually a cool dude. This is a funny podcast. Cool stories. Like it's just stories.
Yeah.
And Theo Von definitely has a lot of stories, and he's just off the cuff. I wish I was that witty.
Yes, like some of the statements that he just
says.
Yes, like
it's just like it can't be replicated, and that's the point, is he's not trying to replicate anyone himself. He's just being himself, and that's the beauty of podcasts too, is just how you can see people be themselves, including us, like how I probably don't make sense, or I haven't made sense for the past 5 minutes, but regardless, thank you. Number 5, do you have anything to say about
one
Theo Von?
more thing about Theo Von that I wanted to put in there, about kind of just going based off of how you said how like real he is. I like how he can be super like joking and like talking about comedy and just saying this funny shit all the time, but then also there's a side of him where he'll bring out like the seriousness in like his life, and like he opens up about his relationship with his mom and stuff. And I give him respect for that, because he it takes a lot, because he obviously always looks like he's like dealing with something, and I guess that's just how he finds comedy, and he goes to a lot of concerts that he talks about and stuff, and I think that's really cool. Really
you
cool.
can tell the podcast too is a form of therapy for him.
Yeah, it's a form of therapy. That's what I was trying to find.
Yeah,
yes.
As I mentioned, it is for us. Why is there a bunch of cat hair on my scarf?
Why do you think?
Oh no. I know Marvel was the star of last episode. Now Frieza's gonna be the star.
Yeah, speaking of the last episode, if y'all are watching, this is not wine. This is caffeine-free cream soda.
Oh yes, with our
in a wine glass.
With
okay.
Our baby announcement. Yeah. If you haven't seen the last episode of our baby announcement, go check it out, people, please.
That was really good. We're not just saying that because it's we did it. It's just genuinely.
Yeah, we're not saying that because we want you to watch. It's
just genuinely a really good episode for us to do. So
I say that a lot. I say watch a lot when I watch and listen. We
watch
gotta
and listen.
yeah, we got to start slashing that. Watch/listen.
Right.
And going through this quick, which is pretty cool. Number 5 is Your Mom's House. Basically, Your Mom's House network as a whole, including Dr. Drew. I stopped listening to the Dr. Drew show for a little bit, the Dr. Drew After Dark, but it's a great like medical / comedy show, I guess you could say.
Yeah, they get some funny questions in there, and
I love the medical questions. Like it's all like a lot of deep. Vag penis questions, which is just like it's just things you never knew or you never thought you wanted to know.
Right.
Like, what is that, or why is this? Yeah,
and you like never know what people are dealing with. Like he'll get some random guy that's just like, oh, my piss is coming out green.
Yeah,
what's
it's
wrong
like,
with me?
what? That's possible? Like,
okay, Hulk.
Right? It's like, that might be a good thing. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Probably isn't. Yeah, so Your Mom's House, of course, great show.
Yeah.
Hilarious. We're honestly, I've mentioned before, where we got a lot of inspiration for this show from was from Your Mom's House. So much respect to them, even though they seem like boomers sometimes,
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, so, and then Two Bears, One Cave, of course, it's basically like you said, the dude version of Your Mom's House.
Yeah, and Where My Mom's At.
Oh yeah, exactly. Christina P does have a solo episode. So like I said, these are comedian podcasts, so majority of these.
Yeah.
Speaking of comedian podcasts, number 4, Tim Dillon. What do you think about Tim Dillon?
Hilarious.
Yeah. Tim Dillon is probably one of the I would say one of the top current comedians right now, along with I would say Mark Norman is definitely up there too.
now.
Yeah, a little side note. We'll honorable mention. We'll get to the honorable mention. Yeah. But yeah, Tim Dillon.
Tim Dillon Tim Dillon keeps me on my toes because while he's talking, I'm thinking one side like, why is he saying this, and also like, don't stop. This is hilarious.
Yes, so and it just stuff that the shocking, I guess, comedy of it, but then he's also like real at the same time. It's like the old court gesture. It's like, you say things that are real and kind of shocking, but at a comedic expense.
Exactly.
And that's what I feel like Tim Dillon is mastering that art, that medieval ancient art. And number 3, of course, the Joe Rogan podcast. Joe Rogan had to be on the list because he is the podfather, basically, even though there were other podcasts that paved the way before, of course, the Joe Rogan podcast, but that just brought Joe Rogan just brought podcasting to a whole other level, and basically where it's like a part of society.
Yeah.
So yeah, Joe Rogan podfather number 3.
And he definitely has some of the best guests.
Oh yeah.
Because he has some guests that nobody else could get.
Yeah, because who wouldn't want to be on the JRE?
Right.
The rhyme there.
Yeah.
And number 2, you want to announce number 2?
Yeah, number 2 is Bad Friends. With,
you said
Bobby
it just
Lee.
like it.
Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
They literally just keep you laughing from beginning to end, which is why I think they deserve the number 2 spot. And then they have their other shows too that they do. Andrew has his, Bobby Lee has his.
Oh yeah, side shout out to what is it? Whiskey Ginger
and Tiger Belly.
Tiger Belly, what's this? What's HM? What did I put for HM?
The
heck is that? What is HM? What is HM? Is that a H?
What are they don't do any other podcasts.
I have no idea what that means. All right, and the number 1 podcast that we, in our ranking, basically, that we listen to.
We definitely agreed on this.
Yes.
We agreed on the number 1 spot.
Yeah. You want to say it?
Yes. Kill Tony.
Yeah, Kill Tony is a great live podcast that happens every week, every Monday in Austin. And if you haven't, I know, we said, we joked about promoting all these other podcasts, but, it was more just our list. But if anything, we have to promote Kill Tony because it's one of the best podcasts, and
literally one of the best.
Yeah, and it's different from any other podcast. That's why it's kind of in a league of its own.
Yeah.
With being a live podcast where you have a panel of comedians, and Tony Hinchcliffe, the main, Kill Tony. It's his podcast, and he pulls names out of a bucket at this comedy club, and comedians come up, or comedians want to be comedians, and I say that in a respectful way, like
Right.
I want to be a comedian.
Like this, it could literally be their first time
Yeah,
on stage.
exactly. Yeah, and they get a shot to do a minute, and we've even thought about, because it's in Austin, not far from us, so we even
Right.
thought about going and signing up, but the whole kind of point of the show too is after you do your minute, you kind of get interviewed by the panel and semi roasted or full roasted depending on how you do, and that's the cringy, the cringiest, greatest part about the
man.
show.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kill Tony has to be number one.
Yep, for sure. Okay, so some honorable mentions. We have the Joey Diaz podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Joey Diaz always good podcast, always good storyteller. And just these honorable mentions are great podcasts, but it's just podcasts we may not catch every single episode.
Right.
So yeah, Joey Diaz.
Joey Diaz. We also have the Palcast.
Yeah.
With Shaggy from ICP and the Creep.
Yeah.
Which we did notice that they haven't done one in a while.
Yeah.
I think it just became a lot.
And
but it used to be good.
Yeah, and it was kind of a different format too. They didn't have ads. They didn't rely on ads, but they relied on Super Chat, which they relied on, their own audience donating, money to get their questions read. And I think after a while, it's like you notice the pattern of it was just the same people donating, which is cool. Like they have hardcore fans like that. But then at the same time, it's like, I wouldn't want to milk the audience that much, you know what I mean? Like they tune in every week and donate. I'd feel like shit after the first few weeks. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, dude, hey, you don't got to donate anymore. I'll just read your question.
Yeah.
See, that's why we didn't work out with ads. Technically we're supposed to be doing ads every week with NordVPN and Insane Labs. But we stopped doing, because when we started I think we had like 2 or 3 episodes where we actually did ads for NordVPN and Insane Labs. But I don't like to do ads. Like don't you? When we did it, it was just like a whole nother like ugh.
Right.
Right.
It's like I just enjoy doing the episode. Why do I have to?
Yeah, exactly. And if we're thankful anyone's watching or listening, why are we gonna make them listen to us talk about like, hey, like, when podcasts, like that's an annoying part too, is a lot of these podcasts are great podcasts, but you see the pattern of more and more and more ads popping up. It's like, is this radio all over again? This is what it's supposed to not be. It's supposed to not be radio, but yet you have a podcast where it's like, not only do you have the skippable, YouTube's ads, which is one thing, but then you also have them reading, 2 or 3 ads every 30 minutes of these random companies that, like Established Titles. You had all these podcasts, doing these Established Titles ads because this Established Title company just comes to them and said, here's money, read our ads. And they're like, oh yeah, we'll do it. And it turns out to be a scam.
Yep. And go ahead. I was just going to say, the thing that gets me most about those is that you can tell that some of them are so random that like these comedians are saying that they're using them and that they love them and this and that. It's like, but have you really? Because like I think we all know that you haven't. Yeah,
exactly. And how naive of me to think at one point, for a little bit that, oh wow, like I really like we said before, these podcasters are sharing things on a personal level. So you actually, these guys aren't like TV, these guys aren't radio. They are actually promoting the things that they know is legit.
Right.
So you have things like I said, Established Titles, which was offering little plots of land in Scotland, and if you buy this little plot of land in Scotland, you get the certificate where you can actually become a lord or a lady, and you can change your license. You can actually be, I can be called Lord Vinny, or Lord Vasquez. It's like, whoa, I really trust these Are You Garbage guys. Let me actually look into this. I'm glad, I didn't, because like I said, it turned out to be a scam, and these podcasters are the ones pushing, and it's kind of like, ooh, I don't think I want to be that guy.
Yeah, because it's like you didn't even do your research before you went on and started saying that, and did it.
With that being said, that's why Insane Labs and NordVPN dropped us. But it's like, hey, it is what it is. I don't feel comfortable. Like, companies want to work with us. We appreciate it, but I like the Lex Friedman model where we just put you in the description. Like I said, we're thankful that anyone's listening or watching, we're not going to waste airtime to try to hawk your product.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm not like one of the. I worked in many industries. Some people might call that a bad thing. I like to call it as exploring different career paths. But I've worked in many industries, and everything from restaurant to airport to hotel, what did I say? Restaurant again, to sales, to electronics. What other jobs? To pet care,
grocery.
Yeah, exactly. And the number one job I've always hated is sales. And this is not a job. This is more like, like a passion hobby, I guess you can say. But if I were to say the best job I could have is doing this, is being a podcaster. So why am I going to clash the worst job ever with the best job ever and then feel like I'm a salesman when I'm running your ads on our show? It's not going to happen, people.
Very well said when you put it that way.
With that being said, CayVin.com. Get some merch. Patreon.
That's where we want to see it.
Yeah, because we're trying to promote ourselves, promote our product that is the CayVin universe.
Exactly.
It's ad free, people. Ad free.
You heard it here.
All right. So, Steve-O's Wild Ride? That's another good honorable mention. We stopped listening to Fighter and the Kid, of course, and we stopped listening to King and the Sting. King and the Sting is no more. It changed to the Golden Hour podcast. You ever think about changing our podcast name? Because apparently, you can do it.
Apparently you can do it, but obviously you only see that the only person doing it is Brendan Schaub, which obviously means he doesn't have his shit together.
That's a whole nother topic, but yeah, like that's
it's embarrassing.
If you know Brendan Schaub and it's like we're kind of talking to a niche group right now because this is kind of like a little sub community, but it's just like it'll fall from grace. That's all
honestly, yeah. And if you haven't noticed, but I'm literally asking you if you haven't noticed in Golden Hour, where has Eric Griffin been?
I know,
like he's already like Brendan Schaub cannot keep a crew. Like he keeps bringing in these random people. Like remember when he had that scrawny kid in the back? You don't see him anymore. Now you see that. I can't stand that guy. That fucking what's his name? With like the hair and Mark. I can't stand him. I just can't stand to even look at him.
Just like anything else, difficult to work with.
Yeah, now he has him as his little bitch back there, and then
hot takes from Galen today. I love it.
Yeah, but and then Eric Griffin, like he wasn't on again this week. And it wasn't even I saw this on YouTube. Like I saw this on Instagram. I'm like, where's Eric? Yeah, but. Wow. He's probably got tired of Brendan's shit. I don't blame him.
Yeah, and you can see like there's a whole Reddit community just about all that drama, and it's freaking juicy, and I love it. It's like that's like
your social media.
It's like podcasting drama and like wrestling drama is like the male version of drama, for the very for the males that do watch wrestling, or UFC drama. That's another good one.
Yeah.
I'd rather say that. Before everyone comes like, oh, that drama's fake, right? Shut up. May start listening to or need to start listening to the No Fresh Network. That's Chris Stefano and Sal Volcano's podcast network. Trying to do your mom's house thing there, but hey, I respect it. Mark Norman, of course, we were just talking about before the show how funny like Mark Norman is. There's many different types of comedians, but I love that zingy one-liner comedian. One-liner comedian. Like we said with Theo Vaughn, it's kind of like that, but in a different way.
Right.
A more, fucked up. I don't know.
Yeah, like fucked up and just carefree. I would say
carefree,
too.
Yeah.
Because he just says it, and it's just hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. And then Kevin Smith, speaking of parent, Kevin Smith's dad podcast. I need to look that up. Yeah.
You were telling me about that.
Is there any podcasts you're like looking into, like mom podcasts? Like, because I figured, like we said with this podcast, we're not going to change it into a whole parenting baby podcast, and I'm not going to start listening to all these dad podcasts, but at least one, maybe two, just to have an alternative view. Yeah.
Well, now that you say that, we mentioned it a little earlier talking about YMH, but Where My Mom's At is actually a podcast that is devoted to moms. So maybe I can actually start watching that, because I did watch it at first when it started coming out, but that was like before, obviously, I found out I was pregnant, and I couldn't really relate because it was a bunch of mom stuff. So now you just like
Wow,
you
yeah.
just like brought it back to me. Like now I definitely have to start watching again.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have Two Lies, One Truth. That's a parenting one.
Oh yes,
Brandy
with
Rhodes.
Brandy Rhodes. Yeah, she's come out with a few episodes already. It just depends on who her guest is, because I don't know. I couldn't watch it if it's just Brandy Rhodes. I hate to say, but
yeah.
I like that, she brings on other women who have had their pregnancy journey, who are currently pregnant. That's just good information for me to know.
Yeah.
All right, so getting into some this or that questions. Starting off with fickle or frugal?
Fickle or frugal?
Or fickle. Sounded like a G, but it's fickle.
Fickle or frugal? What does that mean?
So it's like so if you so like based on money, so you're either like frugal with money, like I don't want to buy that, or you're fickle, like I'll take 10 of those. So
I guess I would say frugal, or I guess I would say frugal in a fickle way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. I guess you could say.
Like I try to be frugal, but then everything costs so much, you end up being fickle because it's like, oh, I put this thing in this is $2. Oh, okay, this is $3. Oh, okay, this is $4.
That's very true.
Your total is $175. Like, wait, what?
Buy 3 things?
Yes, it's like
it's so crazy going to the store nowadays, but I know what you mean.
What would you say?
Frugal, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Graffiti or murals?
Why did I write morals?
I don't know why you wrote that, but I knew what you meant.
I wrote that. Yeah, I wrote that one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Graffiti or murals?
I would say graffiti.
I'd say murals, just because I feel like I know they both could have like positive messages about them, but I feel like people use graffiti in more of a negative way, so murals are more like
the murals have a more positive message.
Well, yeah, people don't go writing F this, F that on murals, You
sound like such a mom.
Well,
oh. The mural sent a more positive message as they don't say fuck this, fuck. And you didn't even say, you said F this, F that. I know we're watching our laundry because we're freaking YouTube, like, shocking content now.
I know, on our baby episode, like.
Yeah, we got shocking content just because you said what? We said a few fucks and you said titties.
I know.
That's what I mean. We just got to depend on ourselves and you people listening and viewing. We really appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Perks or bonuses? What's the difference?
Perks is like partner perks. I know you know about that. And bonuses is like $100 every Christmas.
Oh.
I'd say bonuses.
I would say
the
perks.
Money. I'll take the money.
Well, I mean, perks are more for the long run. Bonuses is like here and now, and then
that's it.
Money comes and goes, and then
I guess you're right. Yeah, because I guess
where's that bonus?
Perks aren't really like. I wouldn't say perks are like money. So that's where I'm like, money's the power and ruler of everything.
Yeah, I'm just a salon over here. She's just using me as a mat to clean her toes. Why do cats have shit breath? Some cats, or other cat doesn't, but this cat does.
I mean, they clean themselves, so
yeah, probably.
That's why their fur smells good.
Yeah, they always smell good with their breath. Jesus
and then
Christ.
Look, she's literally throat deep in her toenails
right now. Get out of here, nasty.
Low battery.
Oh my gosh. And not one thing is another, people.
Zipper or Velcro?
Zipper. God, I mean, Velcro's good for a lot of things, but they're just like... Oh, God, since I was a child, I've hated that noise.
So you'd rather hear zip, 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 zip,
zip,
zip, zip. Like what? But a zipper is prone to get stuck and broken. Velcro can't go wrong. But
yeah,
I don't know. I guess I'll say zipper. It's probably easier too.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Jump rope or jumping jacks?
Ooh, I'd say jumping jacks. Because jump rope, you need a rope, and you don't always have a rope to jump.
True.
So jumping jacks you can do anywhere, anytime.
I remember
And jumping jacks do work. I feel like jumping jacks do work more for your calves because as you're going in and out, it's like you're hitting different areas of your calves, which is just jump rope. You're just doing it in one place, so you're just mainly hitting the top of your calves.
Yeah, that's true.
Former trainer people. I actually still got my certification, so.
Yeah, you do.
I'm
gonna say jump rope, because I used to like it a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah, definitely funner.
Yeah, it definitely is funner.
More fun.
I remember there was one time I went to the park with my family and I just jumped rope for probably like an hour straight. And I got home that day and my nose wouldn't stop bleeding. My brain was probably all fucking boggled.
Oh my god. That's where your nosebleed started. Your constant nosebleed started when you jumped rope all day. Jumped rope
for like an hour.
An hour.
I get home and I'm like, oh, my nose won't stop bleeding.
All right.
I literally like fucked up my head.
That was your villain origin story.
Yeah. That's where I got my momo-ness.
Like how I said I used to freaking, when I was a kid, I used to spin around and around and around and around and around. And I would do that. I would spin around in place for like an hour.
The shit that we do is not good for us adult minds now.
That's why my motion sickness is terrible.
Yes.
Literally, I'll get motion sickness on a car, in the backseat of a car, on a boat, airplane.
Yeah.
And you nosebleeds here and there all the time. So
yeah.
Things we do, we're kids, we don't realize we're fucking ourselves
literally. Up. Loofah or washcloth?
Damn. I really like soap bar.
Yeah. But that's not an option.
I know, but if I had to choose between loofah or washcloth, I would say loofah.
Loofah, but I see what you mean too because I like to hit it with the soap bar and then scrub with the loofah. Washcloths are just like you like dry dishes or something, or wash your face with that.
Yeah. It just loofah. I would always have it use loofah. I've always used loofahs.
Yeah.
Until recently, because I saw a video. It was just like one video that fucked me up about like the bacteria that can grow on loofahs when you're just sitting there. Even if you're supposed to change them out. Normally, you're supposed to change them out like I guess once every. I would do it once a month, but I guess you're supposed to do it like once a week or something.
What?
Yeah, exactly. So I'd rather just use a soap bar.
Okay,
but it has to be like. But then again, I love the scrub of the loofah, so I think it has to be. I like those soap bars that have They have the little like scrub particles in it. That would be my overall choice. But for this or that, of course, can't do that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to come up with some rule because this is hard. This or that. We're gonna have to come up with some rule where we can like sub at least one.
Yeah.
I would say soap bar, but of course I choose loofah.
Yeah. Treadmill or stair climber?
Ooh, stair climber.
I'm gonna say stair climber too.
Yeah, especially living out here, we can just run out here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, stair climber is good.
But when I did go to the gym, I'd hit that stair climber. Oh, yeah. My glutes.
Yeah, talk about cardio and working out all your lower body.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, you can. I could stand on a treadmill or walk on a treadmill for a good amount of time, but I get on the stair climber and like 2 minutes in, I'm like, it's been an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, it's like how long? Yeah, it's like that for treadmills too with me. Yeah, treadmills really work better if you're doing like incline. Yeah, that's good to do on treadmill. What? The
social media.
Social media? Oh, that's supposed to be an A.
Who is that? Social media.
Is that why you were laughing?
Yes.
I'm not a good. When I write sloppy. And sometimes I just write quick and my
You're dyslexic? I can fix that.
I can fix that like holes.
So social media or social event?
The social media.
Social media all the way.
Yeah.
I'll stay home.
Yeah, I'll stay home, yes. That's why, I'll attend a social event in VR.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be cool.
For sure.
Hamburger. Hamburger or let's see, insider. Hamburger or hot dog?
Hamburger. Hamburglar.
Hamburglar.
Yeah.
Yeah, hamburger.
You can dress that up. I feel like a hot dog is only good with like chili and cheese.
I was literally just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Chili dogs are the only good hot dogs.
Yeah.
Unless you're like, unless you're at like a ballpark, get some Franks.
Yes, and Frank's with just like only ketchup. Oh my god. My mom would serve us hot dogs and she'd put ketchup and sprinkled cheese on them. I can't even imagine eating that anymore.
Why?
Because I ate that so much when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, that was good
though. It just
though.
doesn't sound appetizing to me anymore.
Yeah, see, I don't think I prefer hot dogs because if we bought like the the Franks for the hot dogs, it just ended up getting chopped up and thrown in some eggs and weenies.
Yes.
I'd prefer that over a hot dog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, did you hear that? Did you hear that drool? What's it called? Like that. When people talk about food, like next time you listen to a show or a movie, or even just in person when you're talking to someone, once you start talking about food, eventually somebody would do that, like where they have to like bring up a drool. They're like, oh well, I think that
they gotta suck it back up.
Hot dogs are.
So
just
funny.
I love, just pay attention to people. It's interesting.
Yeah. Snack size or king size?
Oh, I would say snack size, honestly.
Snack size is always fun.
Because king size, I feel like it's more of a mental thing. King size, you feel like, you have to eat half or eat all of it. Where snack size, you can break it up to, get those packs, you can break it up multiple.
Exactly. Just get a little bit here and there.
Exactly.
You don't feel pressured.
Like our candy jar that we got.
Yeah.
A little bit here and there.
Our stash.
The stash. The candy stash. All right, getting through these quick. Good episode. At least I hope it is.
I know. I hope so too.
Yeah,
I'm sure it
some
real reactions.
He definitely destroyed that trailer out of frustration.
How does he not know?
Why is he still going?
Does he not know, or did he really do that on purpose?
I don't know.
Like you would think
know.
for your safety he wouldn't.
Or like somebody needs to flag him down. You saw that guy in the background just standing there.
Did he think that was a speed bump or something?
I have
what
no
is
idea.
going on here, people?
No idea whatsoever.
He definitely destroyed that trailer out of frustration.
No, like he straight up knew that he was in line with it. There's no way. And that you can't tell me that doesn't feel rough. Like he's literally dragging it.
Oh shit!
Can you imagine how quick he probably lost his job? He's probably never gonna drive a truck again.
Yeah. He probably just got fired. He's like, all right, watch this.
Yeah, literally. He's like, y'all want to fire me?
Oh. Shit.
Oh God. Yeah, that's payback there.
Yeah. Oh.
Mario.
Oh, that is gnarly. Look at his chest there.
Why did you like it? I wonder what percentage in his head is like, yeah, I could get fucked up, or people really that confident?
Right?
Like, I can do it. Like, ouch.
Yeah, that's like bruised forever.
Forever. Oh. Oh, I'm trying to get that shot right there.
It like completely.
That's like the look of like I fucked up. Why did I do
he's
this?
actually glad it kind of missed
right
his
there.
face and his chin because it could have like messed up his teeth and jaw and.
Yeah, he reacted in the moment because he definitely right there, like he definitely.
Right, he kind of got his face back and everything.
He was aware of what was going on.
Yeah,
and he was aware that he fucked up.
It was in this moment he knew he fucked up.
Oh my gosh, this car just freaking drove into the fireworks place. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Holy cow.
Oh my gosh.
It's like getting worse by the second.
Why is there just like a fancy firework place? Like usually when you see a firework place, it's like the big warehouse on the side of the road. Why is this like the firework place bought a department store, a closed department store, a closed freaking insurance agency?
And not to mention, she's filming in a gas station parking lot. Like, how unsafe is that? I guess this must be in a place where fireworks are supposed to be like out of city limits. Right? This must be in a place where they're allowed to do that?
Just like, with power lines and, gas
dangerous.
lines. Let's just say, hey, Bill, let's open up a fireworks store right here where this Allstate closed down.
Into the fireworks place. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Holy cow.
Oh my god.
Everybody's
and
stopping.
Is like the car gonna explode?
Right?
Oh, Jesus.
Oy.
Is that like a new TikTok or sound whenever TikToks Like it
I
does
guess
that.
like when it finishes.
Yeah.
I guess so.
I got to play. You're gonna be in real trouble. You're sitting in the car. I need to park here.
No, I'm parking here. I live here.
Well, get out. You
What?
don't have a car pass.
I do, and it's not your business. I live here.
You're here a lot, and I see you. You don't live here. And even so, I need to park here.
That's not how it works.
You are a disgusting piece of crap.
Your mother.
What? This is like kind of like was it like this was kind of like the most Boston conversation,
Right?
You're a lot, and I see you. You don't live here. And even so,
He's like, I live here. I see you a lot, but you don't live here.
Like what?
You're a piece of garbage. Your mother.
This is in Jersey for sure.
and even so, I need
This
to
is
park
actually
here.
That's not how it works.
You are a disgusting piece of crap.
Your mother.
There she goes.
Your mother. This is like a scene out of a fucking comedy.
Literally.
This is hilarious.
This Karen, man.
This is perfect.
Well, get out. You
What?
don't have a car pass.
I do, and it's not your business. I live here.
You're here a lot.
I think it's their act, like being from Texas. I'm sorry, people. I think it's just their accents, the way they're
That's not how it
arguing.
works.
You are a disgusting piece of crap.
Your mother.
Ah, oh my god, that's great. That's great. I don't know why I got such a kick out of that, but I did.
It took like 4 plays.
That's my
love it.
favorite argument video.
I love it.
Your mother.
Your mother, you are a disgusting human
That's our
being.
next shirt. Your mother. No, can't do that.
Oh god. Oh, this one's pretty gnarly for the last one. So watch.
Oh, I hate this fucking sound. Why did you show me that? I could have lived the rest of my life without seeing that.
I didn't even think that was possible.
Exactly.
So this lady straight up, for the audio listeners, this lady straight up gets her entire finger stuck in a hand mixer. Just a little hand mixer that you make like cakes with, and it's all bejoggled in there. It's all in there. And it's purple and like
God. I would like to see the X-ray actually of that.
yes.
But the raw.
And
bit,
how
you know,
did they get
footage,
her finger
ugh.
out? That's what I'd like to know.
Oh, jeez.
I'd like to know that.
Mm.
So yeah, that was pretty gnarls.
Gnarls. Yeah, well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Frieza definitely enjoyed chilling with us.
Yeah, she did. She was the star of the show.
The star of the show. If you enjoyed this episode, this ad-free episode, and you do want to support, you don't have to support, but you do want to support. It'd be nice if you support. Check out the Patreon, $1 Patreon. Of course, check out the merch at CayVin.com. In all seriousness, anything we do make from those goes directly back into investing into the show and making the show better for you. So thank you if and when you do that. And if you, like I said before, if you don't want to throw $1 at us, you don't have to. Just please, if you enjoyed the show and you want to support, just make sure you're subscribed. And if you got all that jazz done, tell someone about us. Be like, hey, you listen to podcasts? Check out CayVin Universe. Might like it, might not.
Yeah.
Just check
They
it out.
cool. We cool.
They cool. All right, Galen, take us out.
Okay. How am I gonna do
put that on
this?
the
You put me
spot
on the
for-
spot
I
every
literally-
single episode.
Yeah.
And so I'm just gonna say good night, everybody. We will see you next time. Can I mention we got some Christmas apps
Yeah, I
coming?
guess you can mention it, but a lot of times when we do mention we're gonna do something, doesn't happen.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody say bye to Frieza. Bye.